What's good, YouTube? This is Boxingwave, and we are back with another video. And this is probably some of the best news that I've heard from in boxing and all of boxing in a while. I mean, with all the fight cancellations and reschedules and stuff like that, Stephen Fulton and Naoya Inoue has agreed to fight later in this spring in Japan. All right, and this is a fight that we've been talking about for a minute. Now last year I was making videos like last year before their last two fights, saying that in a perfect world, you know, Stephen Fulton would fight MJ, all right, for that undisputed title, and Inoue will fight Paul Butler and become undisputed. And if they both win their fights, they would fight each other. And it's nothing against MJ because MJ is a unified champion as well. And he also had, that was actually a pretty good fight. But Stephen Fulton is the man that everyone's been talking about, beating the fighters that he's beaten recently, and win against Brandon Figueroa. A lot of people wanted the fight more. And plus, there was some sort of buildup there because Stephen Fulton has been talking about Naoya Inoue for the last couple of years. I've seen him in interviews saying that he can expose some of his flaws and stuff like that. He's even going as far as saying that he would go out to Japan and face him. So this was a more hyped up fight, and even though MJ is still unified and he's still, a champion, he had injuries, he had mandatory obligations, so the Fulton fight was just not going to happen, period. All right. So with that being said, now that Inoue has become undisputed, he's made history down at 118. He's going to go up to 122. And Stephen Fulton, a lot of people got attacked him like maybe a few weeks back because he was going to move up to 126 and have that rematch with Brandon Figueroa, which is a very good fight. All right. He was going to go up and fight him for the WBC title, which would be vacated by that time up at 126 because Ray Vargas is going to go up to 130. So there, everybody's shifting up and fighting for the titles in the next division up. And that title was going to be available and they was going to run it back. And it's a good fight. It's a very good fight. Nothing against Brandon Figueroa. He's a good fight. Not only that, but, it was a very controversial decision because a lot of people feel that Brandon Figueroa won that fight. I think it's one of those fights where you like what you like. If you like the clean punching for Stephen Fulton, or you're gonna like the volume of Brandon Figueroa. It was a very close fight, a lot of back and forths in that fight. But with that being said, this has got to be one of the best fights that you can have in boxing. I mean, two undefeated fighters. Inoue, well accomplished fighter. He's gone up and won titles in three different divisions, and now he just became undisputed officially. All right, and now he's going up to his fourth division, and he's going straight to what many of us believe to be his toughest challenge, and I do believe that. I know a lot of people. I've heard the arguments from both, and the problem is, I think some of the extremists. You got the people that are extreme haters, and they want to try to denounce what Inoue has done in his career. They want to say, well, what's the names he fought? What's the names? Who's the people? Who's the best people he fought? And a lot of people make the argument that what's his name? Nonito Donaire is the best fighter he's fought, you know, and that, Donaire has already lost to all of these guys. He lost to Regan Dow, he lost to Nicholas Walters, he lost to Carl Frampton. And yes, he did lose to those guys, but he fought them at much higher weights. 118 is probably where he actually belongs. Now he does have a size advantage there, but he's still giving us some of his best performances even at late in his late 30s. I believe he was 40 when he lost to Inoue in a rematch, but the first fight was one of the best fights of that year. But people are going to say, well, he's not that good because, he's already lost to all of these guys. And then when they look at everybody else on Inoue's resume, they're not familiar with him, because the smaller guys don't get the same kind of credit that the larger guys do, because they don't have the name. So when they look at his fights in the other divisions and the lower divisions, they're not familiar with them, but it's the way he's beating them. Those guys that he beat throughout the years, they've been competitive with everybody else that they fought. But when Inoue fought them, he destroyed them. But yeah, I understand that people don't give him credit. But I also believe that Stephen Fulton is the best fighter that he's fought up to this point. Fulton is fresh. He's young. He's even younger than Inoue, right? He's undefeated. And even though he's fought only at one division, he's had an amazing resume. All right. He's fought nothing but good quality fighters for years now. And he's been hurt. He's been hurt. He's had some issues in certain fights, but I'm watching him improve with every fight. And now he's going to go into his most toughest challenge in fighting a top 5 pound for pound fighter. Some people got Inoue at number 1. I don't, but I've had him in my top 5 for years now, And I think this fight is so important. And yeah, it would have been great if it was an undisputed fight at 122. If Fulton found, a way to fight MJ and possibly win that fight, and he would have been undisputed, and then a new way being undisputed at 118, moving up, and you got 2 undisputed champions going right at each other. That would have been great, but it's okay. It's okay because there's still work to be done. The winner of this fight can fight MJ later. It's this is the fight that people wanted to see. And people called out Fulton because they thought he was going to move up to 122 or 126. And they saw it as a duck, him moving up when Inoue was moving up to fight him. And Fulton is like, my career is not based on anybody else's. I'm not going to wait around for whoever to fight. But it looks like everything has changed now, and I think that I believe it. I believe it. I know people have doubts because Stephen Fulton is a PBC fighter and they feel that Al's not going to allow him to leave the platform and go elsewhere to fight. But I believe that, and I said this, shout out to Joe Habib and his ringside reporter. I was on their panel the other day and we spoke about this, and I said the reason why I know some people don't believe the fight is going to happen, but the reason why I believe the fight will happen is because I do feel that certain fighters that are not super mega stars, especially at the lower divisions, they'll have the biggest name. I know Stephen Fulton is hot and he's gaining momentum and more people are starting to become more familiar with him now. But if you're not bringing the big money, if you're not the Jamal Charlos, if you're not the Errol Spences, the Tank Davises of the world, those top fighters, I think he's less likely to let them go on and move. I think in certain opportunities, he will let fighters leave the platform and go and fight elsewhere if the opportunity is there. And these fights in Japan, you go out there and you're gonna make a lot of money. I've been saying this about Ryota Murata for years. When he was champion for years, or even before he held titles, why didn't Demetrius Andre or Jamal Charlo? Triple G finally went out and did it. But why weren't these guys, I was saying this for years, go out there and fight Murata. He's legit. He's legit, and you're going to make your money. He's a star out there. Inoue is a star out there. He's a mega star out there. Out there. He might not be to us, but he's a mega star out there in Japan. Go out there, fight for the opportunity, the respect, and the money's there on the line too. If Fulton goes out there and beats Inoue, he's instant pound for pound. I don't know wherever you want to put him, he's instantly a pound for pound fighter. If you don't have him there, it's going to be no debating. That might be the best win that anybody's had in boxing. And that's why I tell people this all the time, and I've said this for years. Stop trying to discredit fighters so much. I said this about Spence and Bud. I've been saying this for a minute. You Spence supporters will shit on Bud's resume so bad that it's like, well, if Spence wins the fight, you want Spence to have the credit for beating Bud. Same with Bud fans. You can't just shit on Spence so hard because that would be Bud's best win. It would be his best win. It would be Spence's best win. And it's going to be the same for these two. You know, for the people that's saying that Inoue is overrated and he didn't beat nobody and all of this stuff. Well, if Fulton beats him, he's instant pound for pound, right? You know, not maybe not number one, but you got to have him really high up there. So you can't shit on him and then give him credit for beating him later. You know, and the same with Inoue. If Inoue beats Fulton, I think that Fulton is the best. I know guys like Donaire has done more throughout his career because Donaire is like a 4th division champ. But you beating Fulton in his prime, you know, he's young, he's fresh, he's coming off good wins. All right. These guys are beating fighters. I think Fulton, the only difference is Fulton don't have the knockout power that Inoue has. But he's boxing circles around a lot of these good fighters, and he's beating them at their own game. You know, Angelo Leo, he was a lot of that fight was just phone booth fighting, which Leo liked, and Fulton was able to beat him in that. Same thing with Brandon Figueroa. A lot of that fighting was phone booth fighting. You know, he's beating guys in their own game. You know, and he don't have the power, but he is going to be fighting Inoue, and he is naturally a bigger guy. And he boxes very good. He's very quick, and he might be too much for Inoue, you know? Or Inoue might carry that power up there and drop Fulton and beat him on points or stop him. Who knows? But I want to see it. And I think this is the best fight. And this, I don't know what it's going to be. You know, I'm thinking that it's probably going to be on ESPN Top Rank. It's going to be the broadcaster. I would pay for that shit. I would donate for this fight. This is amazing. This is one of the best. We get pay-per-views all the time. This is a real pay-per-view. Like this is a top tier quality fight. In the lower divisions, anything that I can't think of any fight below 135 that is a more important fight than this fight. There's not one fight that I can think of below 135 that's more important than this fight right here. You know, 135, there's a lot of people there. You know, so we are getting Haney and Lomachenko. That's a very important fight to me. You know, I know people care about Tank and Ryan Garcia because of their names. But Lomachenko and Haney is a more important fight because those guys, you know, that's an undisputed fight. All right, but this fight, there's no fight at 130. There's no fight at 126, 122, 118. There's no fight that I can think of below 135 that is better matchup than this fight right here. All right, so this is a top tier fight in my opinion. All right, so with that being said, I love the fight. I think it proves a lot for both. I think both need it. You need it, you know. Inoue, it's definitely a legacy fight for him because he's going to be unified. He's going to be a title holder in his 4th division. He's going to be unified. And if he is to go and beat MJ and win this fight and go and beat MJ after in that unification match, he will be undisputed in 2 different divisions. 2 different divisions. I don't think anyone that's actively boxing has done that. Not anyone that's actively fighting. You know, I think Usyk is on the way if he is to beat Tyson Fury. All right, so this is an important fight for both. And I think the boxing world, you guys should be happy. I believe it's going to happen because mainly not only because I think the PBC will allow some of their fighters on great opportunity. I mean, this is too great of an opportunity to miss. And yes, they have dropped the ball with other fights, but this here is a great opportunity for Fulton. I think Fulton really wants it. I think Fulton got the backlash from it. And plus, if you just look at the WBC in, 126, Fulton was supposed to fight Brandon Figueroa. Now Figueroa is fighting Mark Messiah. Okay, now he's Isaac Dogbe. Isaac Dogbe is gonna fight Ramirez, Robesi Ramirez. All right. So now everything is getting switched around. There were fights that were supposed to happen that are not happening no more at 126. And Brandon Figueroa is fighting someone else. He's already scheduled. So if that is happening, that means Stephen Fulton's available. Like he tweeted himself, he did not vacate any of his titles yet. He still holds his titles. So it seems like this fight is good to go. I hope it really happens. If it doesn't happen, then it'll be another black eye for the sport. But this fight, it has to happen. This is too good of a fight. And both guys are confident. We knew Inoue wanted to go up already after the Paul Butler win. And we know that Stephen Fulton has been wanting this fight. And he's very confident in his talent. And hopefully we can get the fight. I love this fight, man. I can't express it anymore. So hopefully it goes down, and I can't wait to cover it. This is a fight that I would love to go to see live. I haven't been to Japan, but it's definitely on my list of places to go. All right. Anyway, let me know what you guys think on this fight, and who would win. I'm definitely at some point, once we get some kind of confirmation that this fight is official, right? It seems like they said the deal is already worked on or is already done, but I want a little bit more. I want a better peace of mind before going into like a breakdown video. All right. But I personally think it's 50-50. I think it's 50-50. I think I can see Stephen Fulton winning a decision. And I can also see Inoue winning a decision or winning by stoppage. I can see both outcomes. All right. But I think it's 50-50. And I do believe that it is Inoue's toughest fight to date. And Stephen Fulton's toughest fight to date. All right, so let me know. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, share the video. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.